Hi, I'm Melanie Young of RaisingRealMen.com. Before I learned to cook turkeys this way, I thought turkey was a dry, powdery, tasteless meat. Someone gave me a copy of the Joy of Cooking cookbook for a wedding present, and I learned so much from that book. One of the best things I learned was how to roast a turkey, and we're going to talk about that today. This is just the most inexpensive frozen turkey I could find. I bought it about 5 days ago and put it in the refrigerator because it's a 22-pound bird, and that takes a long time to defrost a 22-pound bird. Right now I'm just taking it out of its package. Now, first I cleaned and thoroughly scrubbed the sink with soap, all surfaces, so that I could use it as a food preparation area and not worry about getting turkey juice all over my kitchen. I also put the trash can right next to the sink so I could put things straight in there and not drip it across the kitchen floor. Now, we're going to rinse the turkey off. The next thing we're going to do is take all this plastic gunk off of the legs and out of the inside. It's anchored, and sometimes it takes a real jerk to pull it out. Just want to discard that. And reach inside and pull out the giblets. In some birds they'll be wrapped in paper, and others they're just stuck in here, but you'll find the neck, the gizzard and liver and crop. And you might find some more plastic that needs to be pulled out. I'm going to check both openings. Make sure there's no plastic in or paper in there, because once you heat this bird up, it's going to smell mighty funny if there is. And while I've got him on this side, I'm going to bend his wings so that he'll be prettier sitting on the platter. See, you usually cook the turkey this side up. And if you leave the wings loose, they're just going to stick up and out like that. That's not very pretty. So I'm going to take this wing and I'm going to bend it under like this. And it's going to, you have to force it a little bit, okay? But eventually in his spot up, where it snaps right into place. It's kind of like the bird will be resting on his wings. It's much prettier presentation. There. Now there's plenty of skin at this side, so I don't have to worry about that. But on this side, I've got kind of an ugly yawning hole. Okay, so to close up this gaping hole on this side, I've got a needle and a neutral color thread. This is a tan. You can use white, brown, black. Anything that's not blue or red will blend into the turkey when it's brown. Okay? I'm just going to pull the two pieces of skin here together, and I'm just going to quickly stitch them together. It really doesn't have to be pretty. You'll be amazed when the turkey is cooked that you won't even see this. Okay? So I'm just going to whip stitch it together right here and go down that hole. Alright, I finished just stitching the skin all the way down as far as it would go, and that's just going to give it a more finished appearance on the top. Of course, if you're putting a stuffing inside, you wouldn't do that. The stuffing would poke out nicely. But we find it's easier to get a delicious tasting, we call it dressing because it's served on the side, when you cook it outside the pan, where you can cook the turkey to the perfect doneness and the stuffing or dressing to the perfect doneness. And next I'm going to rub butter on the outside, because I'm going to start this turkey at a high heat. I have the oven preheating to 450. Make sure that's set correctly. have the oven preheating to 450 now because I want to seal the juices in. And when I start it at a high heat like that, I'm going to turn it down as soon as I put it down. When I start it at high heat, it seals the skin and keeps so much more of the juice inside the turkey. And when you cook the turkey, it's going to be so delicious and juicy. The juice will run down. And I never knew turkey could be like that. You know, I grew up in the era of cooking turkeys in plastic bags or wrapped up in foil to save the cook time. Well, let me tell you, this is not a good trade. Taking a few moments to baste a turkey is worth it in the bird you produce. Now I've coated that part, let's coat the other half of it. If you don't have real butter, you can use margarine. But margarine doesn't have, generally we use low-fat margarine, so they don't have as high a fat content, as they don't do this job as well. Shortening would be a better alternative. So I've got it well coated in butter. I'm going to lift it up and put it in a roasting pan. I put a little rack in it to keep it right off the bottom. Now this turkey is at the limits of my roasting pan. So I'm going to tuck those wings just a little bit so I'm not dripping stuff all over my stove. And then I'm going to do something unusual. Got here some melted butter. And I've just got about a 12-inch square rag, okay? Just plain cotton. White or unbleached. I'm going to soak it here in this butter. Now the cloth provides some protection to the meat without sealing it in. Because see, the reason you don't want to cook in a bag or in foil, have you ever had boiled chicken breast? It's incredibly tasteless. Versus roasted chicken or grilled chicken, it just tastes so much better. Well, the cloth is going to provide some protection while not sealing in the steam and turning it into a boiled turkey, which is what most people are having this morning today, and it's not very good. So, when I baste, I'm going to baste over and under the cloth. If the cloth gets all crispy and dried out, I'll take it off and soak it in butter again. And I'm going to put this bird in at 450. I'm going to immediately turn it down to 350. For the first half an hour, I'm going to leave it alone. Leave the door closed. After that, whenever I remember, as often as every 10 or 15 minutes, but whenever I remember, I'm going to baste it. Until I have enough juices down here, I'm going to baste it with chicken broth. Chicken broth and butter. If the fabric starts to stick, I'll put some butter on it to soak through and gently pull it off. I'll baste over and under it. And this bird will be crisp and beautiful and brown on the outside and juicy, soft, tender, and delicious on the inside. You've never had a better turkey until you've had one that's truly a roasted turkey. Now if you'd like to learn more about this, we have a couple of books available for holiday cooking celebration. Our book called A Christmas Celebration, and We Gather Together, Sanity and Celebration at Thanksgiving. They're available at our website at raisingrealmen.com/wegathertogether.